When Remy Ma walked into that upscale lounge in Brooklyn, she wasn't coming for a drink. She was coming for answers. The air was thick before she even spoke. Every head turned. Cameras were already rolling. But what they captured wasn't scripted, wasn't staged, and wasn't polished for TV. It was personal because for the first time in over a decade, hip-hop's power couple, the one fans thought was unbreakable, had officially fractured. And now the fallout was no longer private. Word had already spread like wildfire that Papoose, the man who once stood by Remy during her prison sentence, had been spotted around town with a new woman. The blogs identified her as a model/event promoter from Jersey named Talia Monroe, who had recently been posting cryptic captions like "He found peace where loyalty ran out." Fans immediately connected the dots, and all eyes turned to Remy. At first, she stayed silent. No tweets, no comments, not even a reaction on camera. But insiders close to her said she was furious, not just because of the betrayal, but because the public narrative made her look like the problem. She kept saying, "After everything I held down, this is what I get." One insider told the Jasmine brand. And so, production began filming a special reunion segment for Love and Hip Hop. New York, nobody expected Remy to show up. She'd refused for weeks. But then, just as they started rolling, she walked in, calm, collected, and dangerous. Producers froze. Papoose wasn't even there yet. But sitting front and center, dressed in designer and nervously sipping a drink, was Talia, the alleged new girlfriend. The moment Remy saw her, everything stopped. "Y'all really got me in the same room as her," she said, her voice icy. Talia looked up, smirked slightly, and said under her breath, "I didn't call you here." Remy took one slow step forward. Cameras zoomed in. Her hands were shaking, but not from fear. "You might not have called me here," she said, "but you sure been calling my name." The tension was nuclear. Everyone knew what was coming, but no one dared move. Because this wasn't just about love anymore. This was about respect, about betrayal, about a queen reclaiming her crown by any means necessary. And when Remy finally snapped, the room would never be the same again. To really understand the explosion that took place between Remy Ma and Papoose's alleged new girlfriend, Talia Monroe, you have to go back to the beginning, to the story that built one of hip-hop's most celebrated love sagas. Because before this public confrontation, before the whispers and betrayal, there was loyalty. Real loyalty. For years, Remy Ma and Papoose were hip-hop's blueprint for love under pressure. When Remy was sentenced to prison in 2008, Papoose didn't just stay, he stood. He visited her every week. He wore her name proudly. And he publicly rejected the stereotype that men couldn't stay faithful through the storm. To fans, they were the exception. The couple who proved that fame and temptation couldn't destroy a real bond. When she came home in 2014, the reunion was iconic. The music, the interviews, the reality TV appearances, it all painted a picture of triumph and unity. Remy even called Papoose her rib and her anchor. Together, they rebuilt careers, raised kids, and became a cornerstone of love and hip-hop. New York, they weren't messy. They weren't toxic. They were grown solid, a rare thing in their world. But over the last year, cracks began to show. It started subtly: missed appearances together, awkward pauses in interviews, Remy showing up solo at events. Then fans noticed something else. Papoose stopped posting her. In the world of celebrity relationships, silence speaks volumes. And this one was screaming. By midsummer, rumors began swirling that Papoose was spending time with a younger woman from Jersey, a name that kept popping up in comment sections: Talia Monroe, an Instagram model and event promoter with ties to several industry circles. She was known for her bold posts and cryptic captions. She wasn't a star, but she was visible enough to stir speculation. Things hit a fever pitch when she posted a picture of herself at a lounge, wearing Papoose's signature Yankees cap with the caption, "Peace looks good on me." Within minutes, fans flooded the comments, "Not Remy's hat. You playing with fire, sis?" she bowled. That's when the whispers turned into headlines. The Shade Room reposted it with the caption, "Rumors heating up, Papoose's new friend, or just coincidence?" Remy didn't respond publicly, but sources close to her told Bosup that she was furious. She'd been hearing the same whispers from inside her circle. And the disrespect was starting to feel deliberate. "She's not the type to go back and forth online," a friend explained. "But when you play with her reputation, that's when the Bronx in her comes out." And then came the real betrayal, not from the blogs, but from the inside, during filming for Love and Hip Hop, New York. Producers decided to address the rumors directly. Papoose was reportedly asked to film a clarification scene to set the record straight. Instead, he refused, saying only, "It's complicated." Remy found out not from him, but from a production assistant who overheard the conversation. According to insiders, that's when she decided she was done protecting the narrative. She told producers, "If she's gonna be around, then let's talk about it face to face. I don't hide from nobody." And that's how the confrontation came to be. It was supposed to be a cast gathering, a casual wrap-up dinner for the season, neutral territory. But when Remy heard that Talia was on set, she didn't hesitate. She showed up unannounced, fresh out of a studio session, wearing all black and no expression. Crew members said the energy shifted the second she walked in. Everyone went dead quiet. One production assistant later told Hollywood Unlocked, "Even the cameras started shaking. You could tell she wasn't acting. She was there to settle something real." At that point, the tension between the two women wasn't just gossip. It was personal. Insiders claimed Talia had been bragging off camera about having what Remy lost. She'd allegedly been seen around Papoose's camp during private events. And one cast member claimed she'd even called herself Mrs. Mackey 2.0. That was all Remy needed to hear. People who know her know she doesn't go looking for drama, but she doesn't walk away from it either, especially when it's about respect, especially when it's about her man. Remy's not the type to fight over no dude, her hairstylist said in an interview. But she's the type to check you for disrespect. There's a difference. By the time cameras started rolling that night, Remy's patience was gone. She walked straight past producers, straight past security, and right up to the woman who'd been testing her silence. Talia tried to play it cool. She crossed her legs, smirked, and said softly, "You must be Remy." That was the match that lit the fuse. Remy leaned in, her tone low but sharp enough to cut glass. "You already know who I am. And since you like saying my name, let's see if you can say it to my face." The crew froze. Papoose wasn't even in the building yet. Talia looked around, clearly uncomfortable, but refused to back down. "It ain't that deep," she said. He groaned. "I ain't steal nobody." Remy's face hardened. "You can't steal a man, but you can beg for the attention of one who forgot who built him." The room went dead silent. Cameras caught every second, Remy's glare, Talia's trembling hands, and the faint buzz of producers whispering, "Don't cut yet." What happened next turned a simmering rumor into a full-blown scandal and left everyone asking the same question. Had Papoose really moved on? Or was this just the ugliest misunderstanding of their marriage yet? Whatever the truth was, everyone was about to find out. Because Remy wasn't done talking. Not by a long shot. The second Remy Ma leaned forward, the temperature in that Brooklyn lounge seemed to drop 20 degrees. Everyone, the camera crew, the security guards, even the bartender could feel that something real, something dangerous was about to happen. This wasn't television anymore. This was emotion, betrayal, and Bronx energy colliding in real time. Talia Monroe's smirk faltered for just a moment. You could see her confidence flicker like a flame, realizing it was too close to gasoline. But she recovered quickly, flipping her hair and forcing a laugh. "Remy, I don't know what you heard, but I ain't here for no drama," she said, her voice shaking slightly. Remy took a slow, deliberate step closer, heels clicking against the marble floor. "Then why you keep saying my husband's name like it's a song you wrote?" she asked. Her tone was calm, but her eyes said everything. She wasn't here for explanations. She was here for truth. Behind her, producers began waving to security, mouthing, "Stay close." But no one dared step between them yet. Talia crossed her arms, trying to steady herself. Look, I didn't come here to disrespect nobody. He told me y'all was separated. He told me y'all wasn't even speaking. That line hit Remy like a punch. The cameras caught her eyes widening for just a second. That flicker of disbelief before fury took over. Separated? She repeated, incredulous. He told you we was separated. Talia nodded, trying to look brave, but the tremor in her voice betrayed her. That's what he said. He said you was focused on your career, that y'all grew apart. I didn't know I was stepping on nobody's toes. Remy let out a dry laugh, the kind that cuts sharper than a scream. Funny how you didn't know, but you posting his hat, his chain. His damn phrases on Instagram like you trying to audition to be me. The whole room gasped. A few of the crew members looked away. The tension was suffocating. Then Remy said it, the line that would go viral within the hour. You think you playing with a rapper, but you playing with a wife. And I promise you, baby, you don't want that smoke. Talia's lip trembled. She tried to speak, but Remy kept going, her voice rising, her composure slipping, years of loyalty and frustration spilling out at once. I held that man down when he ain't have nothing but rhymes and loyalty. I was there when the lights was off, when them labels ain't want to hear his name. Don't act like you found him. I built him. The room erupted. People were whispering. Producers were shouting. And the cameras were catching every raw, unfiltered second. Talia tried to push back. I didn't come here to argue about what you did for him, she said. If he wanted to be there, he'd still be there. That was it. The exact wrong thing to say. Remy's face changed, not just angry, but betrayed. You really think he can walk away from me and call that peace? She shot back. You think peace come from lying to women? You think peace come from disrespecting vows? At this point, security began stepping closer, sensing things were about to turn physical. But Remy didn't throw a punch. Instead, she leaned in so close you could hear the ice in her voice when she said, next time you see him, tell him the woman he played with still got a ring that means something. And tell you if I catch you in my orbit again, I'm not arguing next time. I'm jumping you. The line hung in the air like thunder after lightning. The words alone sent chills through the set. Even the camera operators froze. Nobody dared breathe. Talia sat frozen, tears welling in her eyes. You threatening me? On camera. She said, voice breaking. Remy didn't blink. I ain't threatening you, sweetheart. I'm promising you. Security stepped between them as Remy turned to leave. The camera followed her as she pushed open the exit doors, the sound of her heels echoing like gunshots down the hallway. The instant she disappeared, Talia broke down crying, shoulders shaking, mascara running. Producers rushed in, some trying to comfort her, others scrambling to make sure the footage was secured. Because they all knew this wasn't just drama. This was TV gold. But behind the scenes, it was chaos. The aftermath on SET, the moment Remy left, the crew went into crisis mode. Some worried about liability. Others were terrified about what Papoose would say when he found out his two worlds had collided on camera. No less. Within an hour, the footage was leaked. TMZ got the clip first. Then the Shade Room. Then every gossip blog in America. The caption read, Remy confronts Papoose's new girlfriend on set. Threats fly as cameras roll in the clip. Remy's warning, I'm not arguing next time. I'm jumping. You became an instant meme. But beneath the laughter in the headlines, fans could see the pain behind her eyes. It wasn't about jealousy. It was about betrayal. Twitter exploded with divided opinions. Remy held him down for years. If this is true, Papoose wrong for that. She too old for this behavior? Walk away with grace. Nah, you can't play with loyalty like that. She said what she said. Meanwhile, Papoose himself stayed silent. Not a word. No post. No denial. His socials went dark, a move that made everything worse, behind closed doors. Insiders said he was furious that the scene had been filmed at all. One friend claimed he texted producers, "Y'all trying to destroy my family for clout?" But Others said he had no one to blame but himself. "He's the one who opened that door," said a source close to Remy. "She didn't walk into chaos, she walked into the truth." The first twist, just when fans thought they'd seen it all, the first major twist hit a day after the footage leaked. A new video surfaced, this time from a phone recording behind the scenes. In it, you can hear producers off-camera hyping up Talia before the confrontation. "Don't be scared," one voice says. "She's gonna bark, but she ain't gonna bite. Just stand your ground, we need real reactions." The internet lost its mind because suddenly, people realized Talia might have been set up. The hashtag they set Talia up started trending immediately. Fans began to question whether Zoo-style manipulation had finally spread to other networks. They wanted drama. They wanted Remy to explode. One tweet read, "They didn't care who got hurt." When that video hit, the story flipped on its head. Now, instead of being painted as a homewrecker, Talia was being seen as a pawn, a young woman thrown into a lion's den for ratings. Even Remy's most loyal fans started questioning the narrative. What if Remy was played too? One user wrote, "They probably told her that girl was talking reckless just to make her show up." And then came the most unexpected voice of all, Fat Joe. He went live on Instagram, defending Remy but dropping one key revelation. "Y'all don't know the half." This situation been messy behind the scenes. A lot of people lying to keep their jobs. "I told Rem, don't let these TV folks turn your pain into a storyline." His comments sent shockwaves through hip-hop. Because if Fat Joe was backing her, it meant this wasn't about ratings, it was about respect. Still, the fallout was only just beginning. Papoose's silence was becoming louder by the day, and whispers started circulating that he'd already moved out, spotted leaving their shared home carrying boxes. The internet begged for answers. Was the marriage over? Were the rumors true? All anyone knew for sure was this: Remy had drawn a line in the sand. And once a woman like her makes a promise, she doesn't break it. The fallout from Remy Ma's confrontation with Talia Monroe didn't just shake social media, it fractured the entire foundation of hip-hop's power couple image. By the next morning, couldn't scroll for 5 seconds without seeing that now infamous clip. Remy's face tight with fury, her voice steady and cold as she promised, "Next time, I'm jumping you." It was everywhere, replayed on gossip channels, dissected by podcasts, even parodied on TikTok. But behind all the trending memes and media chaos, a much darker storm was brewing. Because while the world laughed, Remy and Papoose's marriage was quietly collapsing in real time. The internet divide sat first. Fans were convinced it was all hype, just another reality TV stunt. Some said it was staged to boost viewership for Love and Hip Hop New York. But then Remy posted a cryptic Instagram story that sent chills through her fan base. "Y'all can laugh at my pain, but you don't know what it's like to look at someone you built with and realize you built an illusion." No hashtags, no music, just raw emotion. Within minutes, blogs began reporting that Remy had officially moved out of the shared family home. Photos surfaced of a U-Haul parked outside the couple's New Jersey property. Sources claimed she'd taken her daughter and left in silence, refusing to speak to Papoose. And then came the revelation that broke the internet in half. The text message LAK out of nowhere. A mysterious Instagram gossip page named @TheRealBronxT dropped screenshots. ALLEGEDLY showing text messages between Papoose and Talia. Messages that seemed to confirm their relationship. The texts weren't graphic, but they were intimate. "Papoose, you make me feel calm again. Talia, you deserve peace, not pressure. Papoose, don't say that too loud. She'll make a song about it." Fans lost it. The thread went viral instantly, pulling millions of views within hours. If those messages were real, they didn't just confirm betrayal, they confirmed disrespect. The internet turned vicious. One user tweeted, "He really told his wife to hold him down through prison just to turn around and embarrass her on reality TV." Another wrote, "Remy Ma was loyalty personified." Papoose fumbled the definition of devotion. Within hours, Papoose started trending on Twitter under the brutal hashtag PAPOOSEAIN. Single quotes TPAP no more. Single quotes TPAP no more. The studio loc of it then. Just as the hate reached its peak, a second leak dropped. This time from an unexpected source. A grainy clip surfaced online of Papoose in a recording studio, pacing as he listened to a beat. You could hear snippets of lyrics he was rapping under his breath. I ain't cheat. I escaped. You can't build peace out of pain. She ain't my enemy, but we ain't the same. Love turned prison. I had to break the chain. The snippet was powerful, poetic, Kevin, but the timing couldn't have been worse. People interpreted it as a confession. Proof that he was justifying walking away from Remy. Fans accused him of using his betrayal as art. So you can write bars about breaking vows, but not about accountability. One fan tweeted, "Bro turned his marriage into a mixtape." As the criticism mounted, Papoose stayed silent, but insiders said he was furious. A source close to him told Hollywood Unlocked, "Pap feels like everyone turned on him overnight." He said Remy's playing victim when they'd been separated for months. He told people he ain't cheat. He moved on. That statement might have cooled things down if it hadn't been followed by another twist, the kind that made fans question everything they thought they knew. The first INTRVA, Delia Monroe, broke her silence. She sat down for an exclusive interview with The Neighborhood Talk, tearful, soft-spoken, and clearly nervous. "I never meant to come between them," she said. "I didn't even know things were still that deep. I thought they were over. I thought she was done." But halfway through the interview, she dropped a bombshell that changed the entire narrative. "Remy reached out to me before the show. She told me she wanted to meet. I thought it was to clear the air. But when I got there, it was chaos. Swear, producers told me she just wanted to talk." The internet froze. Could it be that Remy knew Talia would be there that night? That the confrontation was planned not by chance, but by design? Fans were torn. Some accused Talia of lying for sympathy. Others believed she was manipulated by production to create a viral moment. But regardless, her interview reignited the fire. Now, instead of hashtag Team Remy and hashtag Team TALI, the new trending tag was hashtag Expose the Producers. The shocking REVAL 3 days later. A former Love and Hip Hop production assistant came forward anonymously, confirming what many suspected. That scene was staged. Remy didn't know Talia would be there, but producers told Talia Remy wanted to talk. They told her it'd be peaceful. They lied to both of them. The statement went viral. Suddenly, the internet shifted again. What people had thought was jealousy now looked like manipulation. Both women had been played, and the real villain might have been the network that thrived off emotional chaos. But as the public tried to process that revelation, another bomb dropped. One that hit the hip-hop community like a meteor. A leaked voice memo surfaced, allegedly featuring Remy talking to a close friend about the situation. "They wanted me to flip, and I did. I gave them the show they wanted, but I ain't finished. I'm gonna make sure they regret using me like that. They think I'm just some angry rapper? Wait till I show them what I really am." The internet exploded. Was she threatening legal action? Was she hinting at revenge? No one knew. But one thing was clear. Remy was plotting something. The ESCALON by Friday. The Breakfast Club dedicated an entire episode to the story. Charlemagne called it the downfall of love and loyalty in hip-hop, while DJ Envy said flatly, "You can't play with a woman who held you down through prison and expect her to walk away quietly." Then came the most unexpected development of all. Remy and Fat Joe were spotted outside a Manhattan law office. TMZ caught photos of them walking in with serious expressions. The caption read, "Exclusive. Remy Ma meets with legal team." Sources say she's planning to sue for defamation and unauthorized emotional exploitation. Within hours, the speculation started. Was she suing the producers, the network, or Papoose himself? No one knew for sure, but insiders claimed she was collecting receipts. Meanwhile, Papoose posted a single cryptic message on Instagram. "Every king learns, sometimes the throne ain't home." The post stayed up for 30 minutes before being deleted. That was all the internet needed to spin another firestorm. Comment sections flooded with theories. Some said he was admitting guilt. Others claimed he was lashing out at Remy's newfound independence. But buried under all the chaos was one quiet truth. Remy Ma had gone silent again. And when Remy goes quiet, something's coming. Because everyone in the industry knows when the Queen of the Bronx stops talking, she's not done. She's strategizing. And whatever she's planning next might not just shake hip-hop. It might burn the whole reality TV empire to the ground. When the truth about Remy Ma, Papoose, and Talia Monroe finally spilled into the public, the real truth, not the edited for TV. Producer-fed version, it was like watching a cultural earthquake unfold in slow motion. Everyone had an opinion, and no one was holding back. For fans who'd grown up idolizing Remy and Papoose's love story, it felt like betrayal on multiple levels. They weren't just mourning a marriage, they were mourning the myth that real love could survive the spotlight. The internet ERUPTs the morning after Remy's legal meeting photos went viral. Hashtags like #RemySpeaks, #PAPOOSE exposed, and #JusticeForRemy dominated the entire internet. TikTok creators were editing old clips of Remy's love and hip-hop confessionals, next to her confrontation with Talia, narrating them like true crime documentaries. YouTube commentators called it the fall of hip-hop royalty. Twitter, now X, was a battlefield. Fans who once shipped the couple began dissecting every interview, every lyric, every Instagram post from the past year, looking for signs that the perfect marriage had already been unraveling. "She was trying to tell us in her verses," one fan tweeted. "Go back and listen to her conceited freestyle from last year. She said, 'Loyalty ain't love when it comes with performance.' She'd been warning us." Meanwhile, Talia Monroe was trending again, but not for sympathy this time. Screenshots began circulating from her older tweets, where she'd posted cryptic messages months before the rumors started. "Sometimes you win by staying quiet." He said, "She's strong, but I'm peaceful." The internet dragged her mercilessly. The same people who defended her after the producer manipulation leak now turned against her. Calling her a homewrecker in designer shoes, she disabled her comments, locked her Instagram, and vanished from social media entirely. But the real blow came when her name started trending alongside a new headline. Talia Monroe reportedly barred from filming future VH1 projects. According to insiders, the network didn't want the backlash following her onto other shows. Her 15 minutes had turned into a career death sentence. The music industry REACT's while fans were picking sides. The hip-hop industry was eerily quiet until Fat Joe broke the silence again, this time on Drink Champs. He looked directly at the camera and said, "Remy's my sister. She gave her heart to that man. What y'all saw on that show, that's not acting, that's pain. But she'd come out of this bigger, stronger, and richer. Watch." The clip went viral instantly. Artists started reposting it with heart emojis and crown emojis, signaling allegiance to Remy. Cardi B dropped a supportive comment on one post, writing, "Real ones never fold. BX forever." Even Nicki Minaj, who'd famously feuded with Remy in the past, surprised everyone when she liked a fan tweet that read, "You can say what you want about Remy Ma, but that woman been real since day one." It was the first time Nicki had publicly acknowledged anything related to Remy in years. Fans immediately speculated that the two could be headed for an unexpected reconciliation. A Queen's Stand United moment that no one saw coming. And then, just when the hip-hop community thought the story couldn't get any wilder, Remy made her move. The Remy Arena at midnight without warning. Remy Ma dropped a surprise freestyle on SoundCloud titled "The Apology I Never Got." It wasn't a diss track, it was a declaration. I held you down when the world held me under. Now I'm up, but you traded forever for thunder. You wanted peace? Here's silence, unbought. The queen don't cry, she recalculates the plot. The freestyle spread like wildfire. Within hours, it had racked up millions of streams across platforms. Fans called it a lyrical cleansing. Bloggers labeled it the female ether. And just as her fans were praising her resilience, Papoose responded not with a post, not with a tweet, but with a song. He dropped a single called Still Pap on YouTube. Where he rapped, they only see the highlight reel, not the hurt in private. You judge my moves, but not the pain that drives it. The track ended with him repeating one haunting line. Sometimes you gotta lose your crown to find your peace. The public didn't buy it. Comment sections were brutal. Nah, bro. You lost your wife, not your peace. Peace don't come at the expense of loyalty. Remy wrote essays for your soul while you wrote excuses. Even celebrities chimed in. 50 Cent joked on Instagram. He said he lost his crown. Boy, Remy took it with her. The post had nearly 500,000 likes before it was taken down. The industry's double S day and day are behind the memes, though serious conversations were happening. Industry veterans started pointing out how differently people reacted when men cheated versus when women were accused of doing the same. A viral think piece from Vibe magazine titled Remy Ma versus the culture that protects men like Papoose hit millions of views in a day. The article argued that the same public who once praised Remy's loyalty now mocked her heartbreak, calling it emotional instead of real. When a man cheats, it's a storyline. When a woman reacts, it's a scandal. The author wrote Remy herself reposted the article on her Instagram story with a single caption, "Exactly." The reaction was immediate. The post got over 1.2 million likes in less than 6 hours. It wasn't just a clapback, it was a statement of power. Suddenly, the entire narrative shifted. Remy wasn't a scorned wife anymore. She was a symbol, the woman who refused to let a man's choices define her worth. The industry FALO Loca. Meanwhile, production companies began scrambling. VH1 allegedly halted filming on all new Love and Hip Hop spin-offs featuring married or long-term couples, fearing optics backlash. One executive was even quoted anonymously saying, "The Remy situation changed everything. People don't want toxic love anymore. They want authenticity, but they don't want blood." Even more shocking, Zeus Network reportedly reached out to Remy with a 7-figure offer for an unscripted special titled Remy Reloaded. She declined, sources close to her told. Hollywood Unlocked. Remy said she's done being anyone's storyline. From now on, she's writing her own. And that's when the whispers started. Rumor has it Remy's quietly developing a documentary project, not about the drama, but about the way reality TV manufactures pain for profit. It's reportedly titled Behind the Reel. That's true. She's not just walking away from the mess, she's burning the machine that created it. The Queen Energy Arizu R, as by the end of the week, the public had spoken. Remy Ma wasn't trending for heartbreak anymore. She was trending for power. Her freestyle became the most streamed SoundCloud upload of the month. Talia faded back into obscurity. Papoose's Still Pap disappeared from the charts as quickly as it arrived. And Remy, she went right back to work, showing up at charity events, dropping verses, and posting cryptic but powerful quotes. One of them read, "A crown don't fall when you're the one holding it." Fans flooded the comments with crowns and fire emojis because they knew she wasn't broken. She was reborn, and the same way she once walked into that Brooklyn lounge to confront a woman who thought she could replace her. She was now walking into an entirely new era. One where no one could touch her throne again. Just when everyone thought Remy Ma had turned the page, that the storm had finally quieted and she was ready to move forward in peace, The universe threw one more headline that no one, not fans, not blogs, not even the industry, saw coming. It started on a random Wednesday morning. A mysterious clip began circulating on X, uploaded by an anonymous account called @RealTalkNHD. The video, only 47 seconds long, appeared to show Papoose and Talia Monroe sitting together inside a recording studio recently. The timestamp on the footage was just 2 days old at first. People assumed it was fake, another deepfake or clout-chasing fabrication. But when the camera panned, fans spotted a framed photo on the wall, the same one from a producer's Instagram story the night before. This wasn't old footage. It was current. Papoose wasn't just in contact with Talia. He was still working with her. The internet detonated. Comments poured in faster than anyone could keep up. Ain't no way she back in the picture after all that. It gotta be trolling at this point. Remy better not take him back. Not after this. Within hours. #StillPap was trending again, but this time not as a defense. It was mockery. Memes compared Papoose to Tristan Thompson and Jada's entanglement partners. And while social media had a field day, insiders said Remy's team went into immediate lockdown. A close source told Hollywood Unlocked she didn't even know. She found out the same way the internet did. She called her lawyer 5 minutes after that video dropped. That detail sent fans into a frenzy, because up until that point, the world thought Remy and Pap were quietly rebuilding. They'd both gone quiet online, skipped interviews, avoided red carpets. Some fans even hoped for a reconciliation, but this was the last straw. By Thursday morning, a second post from the same anonymous account appeared, this time. A blurry screenshot of what looked like a text thread between Remy and Papoose. The messages were brutal, Remy. After all the lies, you still choose the same chaos. Papoose, it ain't chaos, it's closure. Remy, you can't close a door you already burned. The screenshot ended there. No context. No verification. But it didn't matter. The internet took it as gospel, and then came the most unexpected twist of all. One that even the blogs didn't know how to spin. Remy went live. No makeup. No lights, no entourage. Just her sitting in a studio chair, speaking softly but with a kind of calm that made people sit up and listen. Everybody got an opinion. Everybody want to pick sides. But the truth, there ain't no sides. There's just lessons, she said. I ain't mad no more. I ain't even hurt. I'm just done pretending that loyalty means the same thing to everybody. Her tone shifted, sharper, more deliberate. I learned something watching all this unfold. People will tell you you're crazy for reacting to betrayal, but they'll cheer for the one who caused it. That's the problem. We normalize the pain, not the healing. Fans flooded the comments with hearts and fire emojis. The live climbed past 1 million viewers in minutes. She wasn't crying. She wasn't begging. She was teaching. Then came her final line, the one that set the internet on fire again. You can lose a husband. You can lose a friend. But you never lose yourself. Remember that? Because I did once. And now he gon' have to watch me find me again. Ski ended the live abruptly, mid-sentence. No goodbye. No outro. Just gone. But within an hour of ending it, her Instagram profile picture changed from her usual glam shot to a stark black and white photo of a broken crown. The caption, "Long live the Queen." And just like that, speculation hit overdrive. The industry, RELIN, every podcast, gossip site and news outlet was buzzing with theories. Did the crown mean divorce? A diss track? A new project? Even her closest collaborators stayed quiet. Fat Joe reposted a simple quote that said, "Sometimes endings are just warnings in disguise." But the biggest shock came a few days later, when a verified account connected to VH1 insiders dropped a cryptic tweet. Remy Ma is in final talks for a limited series documentary. Working title, The Crown's Last Lesson. True, it meant that Remy wasn't just walking away. She was taking control of the story. Every heartbreak, every rumor, every confrontation was about to become her narrative, not the network's. Meanwhile, Talia Monroe broke her silence again, this time through a late night Instagram story that said, "I never meant to hurt nobody." But peace don't come in pieces. She deleted it within minutes, but screenshots spread everywhere. Some said it was a veiled apology. Others called it narcissistic. But one thing was certain, no one believed her anymore. By that weekend, Papoose finally resurfaced. He posted a photo of himself standing on a Brooklyn rooftop, looking out at the skyline. The caption read, "Every lesson hurts when it's real." The comment section was chaos, fans demanding answers. Others dragging him for disrespecting the woman who'd stood by him through everything. But then, a few fans noticed something strange. The photo's reflection in a nearby window. Zoomed in, you could clearly see a woman, long hair, sitting in the studio behind him. It looked like Talia. That's when the internet snapped. Thousands of people began flooding Remy's latest post, sending her messages of love, loyalty, and vengeance. "We writing for you." One comment read, "Don't let him back in the kingdom." And just when everyone thought it was over, TMZ dropped the final twist. According to new court filings, Remy Ma had officially trademarked a brand name the same week the footage leaked, Crown Rebuilt. The filing listed merchandise, podcasts, and a docuseries as part of the brand. The timing wasn't a coincidence. Remy wasn't retreating. She was reloading. And while everyone else was arguing about betrayal and scandal, she was building an empire, brick by brick, out of the ashes of her eye. It's heartbreak, because that's what queens do. They don't beg for respect. They reclaim it. They don't chase revenge. They embody it. And if the whispers are true, her next project isn't about loss, it's about power. And how to take it back when the whole world's been watching. So after all the chaos, betrayal, and heartbreak, one thing's become clear. Remy Ma didn't lose. She leveled up. Because while the internet was busy gossiping about her pain, she was already turning it into purpose. She trademarked Crown Rebuilt before the blogs even realized what was happening. She stopped playing defense and started building a dynasty, one that doesn't rely on a man, a marriage, or a network to define her worth. But now the question is, what do you believe really happened? Was Papoose truly seeking peace? Or was that peace just another excuse for betrayal? Did Talia Monroe play the victim? Or was she another pawn in a bigger, dirtier game? And most importantly, do you think Remy will ever let him back in her kingdom again? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now. Let's hear what you think. Because this isn't just another celebrity breakup. This is a lesson in power. Pride and pain management. Was Remy too real for an industry built on illusion? Or did her own loyalty become her downfall? Hit like if you stand with Remy reclaiming her crown. Hit subscribe if you're ready for the next chapter. Because word on the street is, she's got new music coming, new business ventures, and a documentary that's about to flip the narrative on its head. And remember, strength doesn't mean silence. Sometimes the loudest thing you can do after being betrayed is build something they can't destroy. So next time someone doubts you, betrays you, or underestimates your comeback, channel your inner Remy Ma and say it with your chest. You didn't break me. You reminded me who I am. The crown might fall, but real queens, they pick it up, polish it, and wear it louder. Stay tuned because Remy's story isn't over. It's restarting.